Your dog is a mutant with a love disorder. You believe we chose our best friends. The truth is, they hacked us first. They carry a real genetic flaw on chromosome 6. That mutation prevents them from not loving humans. It was not training. It was a system failure. Science has known this for decades, but the fairy tale sells better. Picture a world buried under miles of eternal ice. Humans were just nomadic hunter-gatherers, trying not to die. Back then, the gray wolf was our greatest rival. It was the apex predator of ancient Eurasia. The competition for meat was a silent and deadly war. High-coverage genomic studies reveal that the decisive divergence between dogs and wolves happened between 11,000 and 16,000 years ago. Long before we invented agriculture or permanent settlements, we did not capture wild pups to keep as pets. Feral wolves would simply bite the hand of our ancestors. The process was far more subtle and opportunistic. Picture the human camp as a roaming food truck. Some wolves were less fearful than others. They began following our trails out of pure self-interest. They wanted the leftover fat and discarded bones. This is the famous theory of spontaneous self-domestication. This evolutionary transition was driven by an innate mutation towards social tolerance, allowing a fraction of the wolf population to exploit a brand new ecological niche, alongside humans. These friendly wolves isolated themselves from the wild packs. They stopped breeding with the original wolves. They began forming a new lineage, what I call Nutella Wolves. Over time, their skulls grew smaller and wider. Their ears folded down. Their tails began to wag. The wolf was dying so the dog could be born. But here is the detail no one tells you. Your dog did not come from a single place. The analysis of 72 ancient wolf genomes spanning the last 100,000 years proves that modern dogs carry a dual ancestry, descending from two distinct populations of ancient wolves. One root lies in East Asia, present in every modern dog. Dogs from the Middle East carry something extra: DNA from a second Western population. It is as if the dog had two geographical fathers. Science still debates whether domestication happened twice independently, or whether the first dogs simply mixed after spreading across the world. And the dog was the first domesticated animal in history, before any plant, before any other mammal, by millennia of shared evolution. Now think of the gene GTF2I as a social router. In humans, disruptions in this gene cause Williams-Beuren syndrome. People with this syndrome are hypersocial. They love strangers compulsively, struggle to set social boundaries, and treat every stranger like an old friend. Your dog has that exact same genetic configuration. It is, biologically, a wolf with love syndrome. It does not choose to like you. It simply cannot help it. Structural variants derived from transposons on chromosome 6 of canids are directly linked to attentional bias towards social stimuli and obsessive interest in human beings. But there is an even more unsettling layer to this story.
This DNA sequence is truly remarkable. It perfectly bridges the gap between these species.
Dogs evolved a facial muscle that wolves do not have. It is called the levator anguli oculi medialis, a muscle around the eye that raises the inner brow. When your dog makes that sad puppy expression, begging to be held, it is not an accident. It is evolved anatomy. This muscle produces the exact same expression humans make when they are in pain or asking for help. Over 33,000 years, domestication rewrote the facial musculature of dogs specifically to trigger our caregiving response. Wolves do not have this muscle developed. Only dogs. It is an evolutionary hack written into flesh. And when your dog looks into your eyes, something chemical happens inside you. Researchers at Azabu University in Japan discovered that eye contact between humans and their dogs triggers a cascade of oxytocin, the same hormone released between a mother and her newborn. This is not a metaphor. It is identical neurochemistry. Your dog's gaze literally hijacks your brain's maternal bonding circuit. Wolves raised by humans are immune to this effect. They rarely make voluntary eye contact. Only dogs developed this ability. They hacked our attachment biology using the very same channel we use to bond parents to children. And this explains why they never grow up mentally. We call it Neoteny, the eternal puppy phenomenon. An adult dog is a permanently juvenile wolf. It keeps its playfulness and dependence forever. It is the Peter Pan of the animal kingdom. We selected for the ones that looked like babies for millennia. We created a species that cannot survive on its own. And for that very reason, it never leaves. The domestication process caused a severe genetic bottleneck, reducing the effective population size of dogs by 16 times compared to their wild ancestors. But the greatest mystery is the original wolf. The grandfather of all dogs is extinct. You won't find it in any zoo today. Modern wolves are only distant cousins of dogs. They are not our ancestors. They are relatives by circumstance. The lineage that chose us vanished from nature. Genomic evidence suggests that the exact population of wolves that gave rise to dogs was replaced by younger lineages of modern wolves after the Ice Age. Your pet is a living archive of ghosts. It is the only biological record of a species the world forgot. Many claim that dogs emerged because of agriculture, that they came to eat our starch. That is a 1,000-year chronological mistake.
Let's look back to the Ice Age. Here, early canids pursued massive prey across the tundra. This cooperative hunting changed human history forever. Around 10,000 BCE, everything changed. Humankind began to master agriculture.
The gene for digesting starch, AMY2B, came later. It was a secondary adaptation to survive on our garbage. First came the hunting partnership. Then came the diet. And here is the proof. Ancient lineages, like the Siberian Husky and the dingo, still carry the original carnivore profile. They have few copies of the amylase gene. These are dogs that preserve the genetic memory of what the partnership was before it became convenience. Their friendship is written in molecular scars. They developed specialized brain regions just to hear us. The canine brain processes our emotions in the right hemisphere, the same side humans use to process emotional valence. When a dog wags its tail to the right, it is happy to see you. To the left, it senses a hidden threat. Functional imaging studies reveal that dogs possess auditory and visual brain regions functionally analogous to our own for processing facial expressions and vocal tones. They feel our pain through emotional contagion. If you cry, their heart rate changes. This is not cohabitation. This is deep coevolution. We shaped their DNA for 15,000 years, and in that process, they quietly shaped ours. The security they provided as nighttime sentinels and hunting partners been the very factor that allowed early humans to sleep more safely. And from that, to build more stable settlements. The mutualistic relationship between humans and dogs is a unique example of reciprocal selective pressures that made the evolution of one species dependent on the other. Your dog is a survivor of an extinction. It carries the genes of a ghost wolf. It has a genetic flaw that compels it to love. It evolved a brand new muscle just to manipulate your heart. It hijacked your maternal bonding neurochemistry. Its friendship is the byproduct of millennia of mutual selective pressure. It is, without exaggeration, the greatest evolutionary success story in the history of life on Earth. And the final revelation is even more unsettling. Science has discovered that wolves themselves went through a genetic bottleneck at the same time as the proto-dogs. They nearly went extinct together. But while the wolf retreated into the cold and the dark to survive, the dog jumped inside our fire. It is the wolf that survived our own expansion. We killed its ancestors, but we gave eternity to the children who learned to love us. In the end, friendship is simply the most intelligent survival strategy nature has ever created.